One of the most common ways organizations break their own teams is by promoting people for the wrong reason. They take an employee who excels at their current job and immediately move them up. This creates a dual failure. You either push an unready employee into a position where they struggle, or you frustrate your ambitious, capable people until they leave for a competitor who actually understands their trajectory. The root of this failure is how we measure readiness. Instead of relying on structured data, leadership teams often default to subjective opinions, recency bias, or simply who is most liked in the office. Simply excelling today is an incomplete metric. If an organization doesn't actively measure an individual's capacity to handle future complexity, it unintentionally sabotages its own leadership pipeline. We use the Empower 180 six-box matrix to categorize talent based on two dimensions. The horizontal axis measures current performance output. The vertical axis tracks potential and future growth capacity. Employees excelling in both land here, the strong growth potential classification. This isn't a static label to file away in an HR folder. The people in this specific quadrant represent the organization's most critical engine for long-term growth. To earn a spot in this category, an employee must meet a strict baseline requirement. They have to be delivering highly reliable, strong contributions in their existing role. But reliable output isn't enough on its own. They must also display the capacity to grow, and they have to prove it through observable daily actions. Years of tenure and company loyalty do not automatically equal potential. Leaders need to look for and document specific behavioral evidence. This means looking for high learning agility, a clear ambition to take on more, and the ability to adapt smoothly when plans suddenly change. The ultimate proof point for this category is ownership. These employees show an instinctive drive to step outside their assigned tasks, whether that means volunteering to fix a broken process or stepping in to support a struggling team member. If you misclassify these nuanced middle ground employees, you guarantee one of two outcomes: premature failure through overpromotion or turnover because you failed to develop them. This brings us to the core functional philosophy of the Empower 180 model. Putting an employee in a box is completely useless unless that classification triggers a specific, mandatory leadership action. Employees with strong growth potential have already surpassed the need for basic performance management. What they require is a rigorous quarterly rhythm of targeted development. The framework prescribes exact steps. Managers must provide cross-functional exposure, assign them experienced mentors, and hold deliberate career conversations. Leaders also need to utilize stretch assignments. Giving these employees a complex, temporary project provides a safe, controlled environment to conduct practical readiness testing. Applying the strong growth potential label is a strict mandate. It requires the organization to actively construct the bridge to that employee's next role. For managers, dealing with this specific tier of talent requires a complete shift in mindset. You have to stop focusing entirely on their daily output and start deliberately exposing them to higher-level, complex organizational challenges. This chart illustrates the risk of inaction. As an employee's talent value increases over time, a lack of development creates a growing gap. When that gap hits a critical threshold, the talent snaps directly over to a competitor who is willing to invest in them. Moving beyond subjective opinions to accurately identify these individuals is where talent management becomes strategic. Systematically developing your strong growth potential employees is the most reliable way to architect a sustainable, high-performing future for the organization.